Hey, I'm Jack. I'm a former banker, mutual fund salesman, and loans officer, as well as a current accounting student. I'm here to educate you about money, no BS, what the banks don't want you to hear, in a fun and easy format to take down. Money's simpler than you think. As usual, smack the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications if you haven't done that already so you already know. Make sure you like and comment because that helps engagement, boosts the algorithm, and more people are going to see my great advice. And that's what you're here for, right? Is great advice. So let's get into today's video, dollar cost averaging and regular investment plans. So RIP stands for regular investment plan. So a word we use in banking basically helps you work towards your financial goals in the easiest way possible. When I was in the bank, we used to try to get people to do these because it puts your savings on easy mode. So think about it this way if you're not quite understanding. Do you pay your taxes as an employee? You have to remit your own taxes? No, you don't. It comes right off your paycheck. You don't think about it. You make your little adjustment at the end of the year when you file your taxes and you're good to go. Your taxes are paid, not something you think about cognitively. You might have the same thing for a pension or a retirement plan at work as well. Money just comes off before you pay your taxes, goes into an account. You never see it. That's the beauty of it. You never think of it. Then you've got that money for retirement. Well, a regular investment plan is the same thing, but just doing that on your own time or accord. So a couple of really big benefits having a regular investment plan is that you are saving money regardless of whether you're actively doing it or not. That money is going into an account. It's there, you don't see it, but it's always happening in the background. You're gonna lower the cost of your investments across the board, which we will get into a little bit later in this video. And you get to enjoy the two greatest things that finance can offer. The time value of money, which we covered on Monday, that $1 today is always worth more than $1 tomorrow. And the value of compounding interest, which we also covered in the last video. So let's take our hypothetical $50,000 a year perfectly disciplined self. Ideally, you're saving 15% of your gross income per year. So for our $50,000 a year guy, that's $7,500 a year, $7,500. But that's not always realistic. So what I like to tell people is that actually 10% should be what you aim for. For our guy, that's $5,000 a year of his gross income that he saves for the future, for retirement. There's a lot of nuance in that discussion and things as well. We can get into it in another video, but for today, 10%, good. Since we're perfect, we paid off our student loans at age 28. Now we are 30, and we are starting to save for an eventual retirement date of 65. You should know though that retirement is not an age, it is a number. If you have money to retire, you can retire at 50. If you don't have money to retire at 65, you're gonna have to keep working. That's just the way it is. So just keep that in mind. Dollar value, not an age. So in Canada, as it stands today, which is in late 2022, you'll be collecting CPP, you'll be collecting OAS, and you will have maybe a private pension or a RIF or something like that, plus some savings. So really, $1 million is wonderful way to start your retirement. $1 million gives you a safe withdrawal of $40,000 per year, the maximum of 4%. So theoretically, you should be able to draw $40,000 a year in perpetuity forever. So the beauty of compound interest is that you get to that $1 million savings account level without having to actually save $1 million because things pay interest when we make investments. That's the beauty of them. So let's get into a little bit of math here. We're gonna get a little bit nerdy. So since we're using a regular investment plan, that $5,000 a year that we have to save is saved over 26 bi-weekly pay periods. That's what's normal for most people in Canada. That's $193 bi-weekly that we're saving. That all of a sudden is a much more chewable number. That's a usable number. That's something we can do. So if we're saving our $193 bi-weekly from age 30 to 65 using our 10.314 average S&P 500 return over the last 50 years, which I know is not necessarily the most accurate investment projection. Talk about it in the comments. Boosts engagement. Algorithm loves engagement. That becomes, and I'm gonna look down at my iPad here for it, $1,010,112.37, at age 65. And then I mentioned before, safe withdrawal rates, which is roughly what you can withdraw per year and not have the principal of your investment be affected. It's about 4% on the high end. Probably closer to 1.5% to 2.5% right now, especially with inflation, but again, very nuanced discussion for another day. We're not gonna cover that. That works out to $40,404.49 in perpetuity, AKA forever. Nuanced point. So now $40,000 a year doesn't sound like a lot. $1 million, they only make $1,000, $40,000 a year, that doesn't seem like a ton. But again, you're forgetting the two things. That's in perpetuity, and in Canada we have fairly robust social security, so that is in addition to a few other things. I've made a couple of conservative estimates here in my numbers, so we can end up at an annual income that I think will surprise you a little bit. So let's say you have another $5,000 a year in pension or RIF money coming through. Maybe a RIF that's a little bit high, but pension, unsurprising, if you've been at a workplace for any decent amount of time, you'll be able to pull $5,000 a year off of it there. We're also going to add in another $8,947 from CPP and OAS, and where I got those numbers from, 727 is the average CPP payout per month right now, and OAS is paying about $685 a month for a hypothetical retired self. Again, there's a few caveats, but in this case, we fit this criteria. So now we're retired, we're making $54,351.39 per year forever. Based on these numbers, none of this money runs out. That's not bad, that's more than we're making in our entire working career. But since we are our perfect self in this hypothetical scenario, we have a paid off house, we have paid off or bought cars with cash, we don't have a ton of monthly carrying costs, we're a fairly healthy individual, again, we're perfect, we're hypothetical in this situation, right? We're in a vacuum. So that $54,000 is gonna go pretty far on a retired person's salary, modest vacation once or twice a year, that kind of thing. So why does that work? Well, compound interest is why that works. So say you put $100 in the bank, it's paying 8% per year. For the first year, that becomes $108. You've got $8 in interest paid. Well, now the next year, you've got $108 in your 8% paying account. So now you get 8% on that 108, and so on and so on and so on. That's the beauty of compounding. The interest that was paid to you the year before becomes part of your principal, and that grows. You just need time and consistency. So the other thing that I want to talk about is dollar cost averaging. This is the other beautiful thing about a regular investment plan, because I'm sure there's some of you who are going, well, instead of saving $193 bi-weekly, I could just put $5,000 in a lump sum every year when I get my taxes back or whatever, and that would take care of it, right? Well, yes, but no. That's the key to this here, is that the beauty of dollar cost averaging is that because you're consistently making investments every 2 weeks for 35 years, you are going to hopefully lower the average cost of your investments, how much you paid for them. You're buying investments and they're up, you're buying investments and they're down, you're buying investments and they're sideways. So the beauty of dollar cost averaging is that you're gonna bring down the amount that you paid, and you're gonna gain more interest as time goes on. Your money's gonna grow even better than it already was. That's the beauty of time. We always like to say, and this is something you've probably heard before, that time in the market is worth more than timing the market. So you could have put $5,000 in March 2020, right at the bottom of COVID, and done great. But you know what also would have been great? Would have been putting $193 bi-weekly for the years leading up to that drop, and putting your next $193 in when the market drops. You never know when it's gonna happen, and anything we know is happening is always priced into the market. So just keep that in mind. You can't beat it. The game is rigged against you. So these are the kind of things you do to put the game back in your hands. The other nice thing is it's autopilot. You don't have to pay attention. You don't have to think, oh, is today a good day to buy? You know, earnings period is this and that and whatever, yeah. You just buy. You just, $193 leaves your account. It's automatically invested. It goes. It's great. Most places that do regular investment plans also do dividend reinvestments, which are great. So as soon as you get a dividend from a good value stock, like in Canada, our banks are good value stocks. That money that you have just been paid just for owning that, so when paying you for owning something is a dividend, that's nice, is going right back into it. And so you are buying again, lowering your cost, growing that principal amount, more compound, more interest, better retirement. It's a wonderful feedback cycle if we can just get onto it. This is the other thing, and I'm gonna close with this, is that the great thing about a RIP is that it is the ultimate anti-FOMO technique. You can't have fear of missing out if you're never not buying. You're buying every 2 weeks, you're not missing anything. That's the nice thing about it. It's just investing on autopilot. So in conclusion, my ask, please go start a regular investment plan somewhere today. You will thank yourself in the future. Most banks will do them into mutual funds for as low as $25 a month. I know we can all find $25 a month. Harking back to the last video, 5 less $5 purchases a month. That gets you that regular investment plan. And then once you've got that started, well, bumping it to 30, extra $5, not that bad. Move up to it, but you should shoot for 10% of your gross annual income if you're wanting to really save for retirement. Just keep that in mind. And if you don't know what to buy, you're thinking, Jack, well, you talked about a regular investment plan, but you haven't told me what to invest in. Well, stick around, subscribe, hit notifications, like the video. I'll get there. We're gonna cover that as well too. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, like, give us some feedback in the comments. Algorithm loves it. We'll see you in the next video.